Greetings, everyone. This is Chaotic Beagle Entertainment. How's it going? So, today's video, we are doing a quick deck tech on one of my favorite little commanders of Magda, the Brazen Outlaw. This was dropped in the Kaldheim set. I was very excited. For the longest time, I was waiting for them to do a good take on Dwarf Tribal. And this just came out perfect. It was a really great pickup. It was, as soon as I saw it, I knew I was going to build this deck. So today we're going to go through the cards real quick that I have in my Magda set. Just give a quick explanation on each of those and what reason I had for putting those in the deck. So, but for Magda herself, she is one colorless and a red legendary creature, Dwarf Berserker. Other dwarfs you control get +1/+0, and that's static. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token, and that's any dwarf that you control. Sacrifice 5 treasures, search your library for an artifact or dragon card, put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So very powerful ability, and we'll go through the deck real quick so you guys can kind of see what I have. This is not the most beefed up. There are some upgrades that I have that I will maybe put in a later video that I want to put in this deck. Some new dragons that are probably coming out that I'd like to pick up. But for now, it's a pretty spicy deck. It's very fun, very red, fast aggro, and can get real scary real quick if you get the right opportunity for it. So we're going to go through that real quick. So we're going to scoot Magda over here. All right, so first part of this one is the land base. So for this one, we have 24 basic mountains. Just basic mountains, nothing special. Just right along those lines. So again, 24 basic mountains. We have 6 unique lands, which we have Holdout Settlement. Tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So if you tap a dwarf, you get a treasure. So that way you don't have to always attack with them. Dwarves are not the biggest creatures that are out there. So if you tap them for mana, then you get the extra treasures because of Magda. Path of Ancestry for obvious reasons. Castle Embereth. So this one is nice. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. For 1, you can tap it for a red, or 1 red, tap it. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So not bad there. Great Furnace. Got this because there are some things in here that depend on the number of artifacts you control and that kind of thing. So that one helps as well. Survivor's Encampment. Tap, add a colorless, tap an untapped creature you control. Tap this, tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So again, you can tap some dwarves out. And then, obvious Dwarven Mine. Tap for a red, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more mountains, other mountains. When it enters the battlefield untapped, create a 1/1 red dwarf creature token. So more dwarfs. All right, next part. So since this is a pretty quick one here, we only have in this deck 2 enchantments. The 2 enchantments we have are the Kirin Negotiations. Tap an untapped creature you control. It deals 1 damage to target player. So if you've got dwarves, you can tap them out, get your treasure, poke somebody in the face. And then Insight... and not that one. Here we go. Shiny Impetus. So you can either put this on one of your own creatures, or you can put it on somebody else's creature. Gets 2/2 and is goaded. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, you create a treasure token. So you can put this on somebody else's creature that's big, nasty, makes it bigger and nastier, and then you get treasure for it swinging every time. So those are the only enchantments, 2 enchantments that we have in this deck. Sorceries. For sorceries, we have 7. So 7 sorceries here. We've got Mana Geyser for the obvious mana. Jessica's Will for mana and to be able to exile top 3 cards of your library. You can play them this turn. So you can get a big boost of mana. So you can get 1 red mana for each card in target opponent's hand. So if you got somebody that's got a bunch of cards, get a bunch of mana, and then pop off some big stuff. Insight Rebellion. Each player Insight Rebellion deals damage to that player and each creature that player controls equal to the number of creatures they control. So if you got somebody that has a lot of tokens out, bop them with this, and ends up really softening up their hit point pools. Seize the Spoils. As an additional cost, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure token. So more treasure. And some card draw. Brass's Bounty. Again, pop this off, and more treasures for you to be able to go searching for artifacts and dragons in your deck. Reckless Crew. So with this one, for 3 and a red to be able to create X 2/1 Red Dwarf Berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of vehicles you control plus the number of equipment you control. For each of those tokens, you may attach a equipment you control to it. So a nice, easy way. If you've got a lot of artifacts out, then you can get a bunch more dwarves and keep popping up more treasures. And then Faithless Looting, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. So card draw. Next, we have Instants. So Instants, we have 8 Instants in this deck. We got Battle Hymn. Get 1 red mana for each creature you control. So mana boost there. Valakut Awakening. 2 and a red, put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many plus 1. So, if you've got a hand of cards that are just a little too pricey right now, and maybe you've got some big dragons in your hand that you would rather in your deck to be able to cheat out with Magda, put them back in. Reverberate. So you can go and copy target instant or sorcery spell, choose new targets. So, you've got a Jessica's Will, you've got Valakut, you've got something, Faithless Looting, you got something that you're really wanting to draw some cards, or, copy somebody else's Cyclonic Rift or Counterspell, or whatever, anything. Nice way of reacting to instants and sorceries coming out. Ricochet Trap. If opponent casts a blue spell this turn, you may pay 1 red rather than pay Ricochet's mana cost. Change target of spell with a single target. So you can end up, countering somebody's counter spell, or changing somebody's counter spell, or somebody's trying to beef up one of their creatures with double strikers. Whatever you may have coming through, it's a nice way to answer with that. Wild Ricochet. 2 red. You may choose new targets for target instant or sorcery spell. Then copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So this is a nice way as well. This and also Ricochet Trap. If somebody's casting, a ramp spell, you can get that ramp off and be able to use it for yourself. Anything like that, especially like this is a nice one because then you get to copy that spell as well. So you can, really respond to a lot of stuff that's going on. Red Elemental Blast. Again, another way of responding to somebody trying to destroy Magda or do anything else. As long as it is a blue spell or blue permanent. Nice way to answer with that. Chaos Warp, another way to answer if somebody's trying to target, if somebody's trying to throw a big creature at you, or they've got some kind of permanent that's messing with your stuff, is coming in, making your creatures come in tapped, or anything like that. Nice way to be able to respond to those. And Pyroblast. Counter target spell if it's blue, or destroy target permanent if it's blue. Again, another way of being able to respond to mainly blue, but being able to respond to somebody targeting your stuff, or somebody's trying to cast something that's about to ruin your day. Just say no. All right, next on the list is going to be artifacts. All right, so for artifacts, these will be pretty self-explanatory, but Lightning Greaves, Bearded Axe, 1/1 for each dwarf, equipment, and or vehicle you control. Eldrazi Monument, pretty self-explanatory there. Pump them up. Beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. If you can't, then you have to sack this. But 1/1 flying and indestructible. So I've got, bigger flying indestructible dwarves. So when they tap to attack, you get your treasures and keep on going. Vanquisher's Banner. Enters battlefield, choose a creature type, usually dwarves. Creatures of the chosen type get 1/1, and whenever you cast one of those, draw a card. Treasure Map. Arcane Signet for some more mana capabilities. Ooh, Gold Vein Pick, because when a creature attacks, so you can attach this to one of your big dragons that you've got in the deck, or one of your bigger dwarves, then it'll deal damage and create more treasures. More treasures for Magda to blow up and go for some bigger, nastier stuff. Paradise Mantle, 0-drop. Equip creature has tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So a very nice one early game to drop on Magda, to be able to boost up your mana production, get your treasures, that kind of thing. Springleaf Drum, another way of being able to tap this. Tap a creature like Magda or any other dwarf to get 1 mana and to get your treasures. All right, vehicles. We got a couple of vehicles in here. Sovereign Consul Flagship. Flying 6/5. Crew 3. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. So very nice. Nice to have early on with a crew of 3. You've got Magda and 1 other creature of a 1/1. You can turn this bad boy on to a 6/5 flying and swing it in there. This is mainly in here just for a big hefty blocker, Conqueror's Galleon. When it attacks, exile it into combat and return to the battlefield transform, but mainly you're using it just as a big hefty blocker. Also a way of being able to tap any dwarves to crew it to get your treasures and keep on going that way. Keep that engine going. Cultivator's Caravan. Tapped, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And then you can crew it. Again, get your treasures for tapping dwarves or whatever you may have. Dermataxi. This is a newer one that I kind of put in here. Looking at it, I haven't had a lot of chance to play test this one just yet. But a 2-drop that imprints as it enters the battlefield, exile a creature card from a graveyard. Tap 2 untap creatures you control, which again, tap your dwarves, you get your treasures. Until the end of turn, it becomes a copy of the exiled card, except it's a vehicle artifact in addition to its other types. So if somebody dumps a big creature, Eldrazi or something else into their graveyard, you can copy it. Yeah, that'll be pretty nasty. Mech Titan Core. So this one's kind of wild. For 5, you basically turn it into a Megazord. I kind of call it the Megazord. Because you put 5 creatures together, make a 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. That's all colors. When the token leaves the battlefield, return all the cards exiled with Mech Titan Core, except Mech Titan Core, to the battlefield, tapped under their owner's control. Again, I haven't had a chance to play this one, but I look forward to hopefully popping that off at least once just for the fun of it. And then the last 2 are pretty pretty integral parts of Magda's deck. Helm of the Host. You can make non-legendary copies, essentially, of Magda at the beginning of each combat. So if you've got 1, 2, 3 extra Magdas, you got 3 extra Magdas, you tap 1 dwarf, you get 4 treasures. So you tap 2 dwarves, you get 8 treasures, and you can start searching for the big dragons and everything else. And then Maskwood Nexus, very nice one. This is usually one of the ones you want to try and grab early on if you can, because then when you start to drop any creatures, so you've got some artifact creatures, you got some dragons, you start pulling those out. They count as dwarves because of this. Creatures you control are every creature type. Same is true of spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So every creature in your deck is now all creature types. So that's pretty big. That's usually one of my game ender types. All right, now for creatures, we have 36 creatures in this deck. We're going to go through these pretty quick because they should be pretty self-explanatory for most of them. So, Torbrand boosts up the damage of any red damage that that your deck deals by 2. 7 dwarves. We have 7 of them. So, 7 dwarves. The more dwarves you have out, the bigger they are. They get 1/1 for each other creature named 7 dwarves you control. So they can get all the way. They're 2/2, and they can get all the way up to being an 8/8. So, and that's pretty big. These are pretty nice. So I've got 7 of those in here. And so this one specifically states, though, that a deck... Here we go. There we go. A deck can have up to 7 cards named 7 dwarves. So even though it's Commander with a single card format, this one goes against that format, so that way you can have 7 of them in the deck. So very nice. All right, Dwarven Warriors. Dwarven Warriors. Tauren Mauler. As your opponents cast spells, it gets bigger and it's changeling, so it's all creature types. Dwarven Blast Miner. Dwarven Blood Boiler. Universal Automaton. Pardic Miner. Axeguard Cavalry. Vault Robber. Dwarven Recruiter. Adaptive Automaton. Dwarven Miner. Insufferable Balladeer. Oh, Balladeer. Dwarven Scorcher. All right, now, so those are all the dwarves and everything else. These are going to be the cards that Magda is going to want to be searching for. Some of them are nice to get out, but if you can blow up your treasure, get a bunch of treasures to blow up for some of these, even better. So you got Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. Goldspan Dragon. Megatron. Really, this is Blightsteel Colossus. There we go. Really, it's Blightsteel Colossus, but I just thought since it's artifacts, I had picked up this secret lair, which you can watch the unboxing of on this channel. I did this one. I thought it would be a great addition. All right. Ganix, Astral Hunter. Steel Hellkite, Reaver Titan, and this one's a really nice one because it has the Void Shields, protection from mana value 3 or less. So anything, creatures, you know, creatures can't chump block it. Has to be something that's an actual, you can't block it with tokens. You know, removal spells that are 3 or less. Anything like that. This is a great card. I was really hyped to put this one in here. Leyline Tyrant, which is a awesome one. Optimus Prime. I figured Megatron's in here, so why not Darksteel Colossus as Optimus Prime as well. Big 11/11 that you can drop out. You know, sneak that one in with Magda's ability. Very nice. Balefire. This is a big time. I've won numerous games with this one. Big time game ender. Hit somebody with this, it deals damage equal to its power to that player and all the creatures they control. Big time game ender. Lathless. Utvara Hellkite. Hellkite Charger. So late game, if you've got the mana to spend to swing out, you've got Maskwood Nexus out, so all your creatures are dwarves, and you've got the mana to swing out, then you can just keep popping off on that, you know, additional attack, and just keep swinging out until your enemies just melt away. Scourge of Valkus. Hellkite Tyrant. And last but not least, Terror of the Peaks. Alright, so there we go. That's the deck tech for Magda. If you have suggestions, please let me know. Put them in the comments below. If you like anything or have any questions or anything else about this deck, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions or converse back and forth with you all, or any of your cards that you have in a Magda deck that have really done some work for you. Please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I am Chaos with Chaotic Beagle Entertainment, signing out of here. You all have a good one, and I will talk with you all later on. Have a good one. Take it easy.